welcome to this week's edition of Twin Peaks Unwrapped. I'm your host, Bryon Kazaskin. Beside me
is Ben Durant.
Ben.
Hey, Bryon, how are you?
I am doing amazing because Twin Peaks has become better and better.
Oh, yeah.
Each episode. And this episode did not fail me. And this is the third one in a row where I really feel
it's got its groove back.
It's got its groove back. He's back in black, like we announced last week, and it's just been so enjoyable. I've enjoyed it a lot, and this episode was very entertaining. But it's almost it's like I call this the setup episode because you got 3 left, and this is like a very important episode to me where we're setting everything in motion for what's going to happen in the next 3 episodes. So I'm very excited. I wish I could just jump ahead and watch them. It's killing me that I can't.
You want to binge?
Yeah. Netflix has trained me to binge, and I can't do this. So it's killing me, Ben. We gotta get to it.
A few more weeks. You can make it like a month more to go. You can do it.
I know. I can do it.
All right. So this is episode 26, and it's written by Mark Frost and Harley Payton. That's why I think it's so good. Can't remember when the last time Mark Frost actually had his name on it. It's been a while.
Oh, wow.
To have his name on it with Harley.
That's cool.
It's directed by Jonathan Sanger. Aired April 11th, 1991. The rating was a 5.7, and it was in 82th place. So it's the ratings still aren't that good.
Well, were they ever that good?
They were in the pilot. The pilot was amazing, and then I think after the pilot, it went down. But
what are ratings nowadays?
Ratings? Yeah.
Nobody cares about ratings. So, you want me to get the video going?
I do. So we know.
Right.
So we know what we're watching here. But
yes.
Did you recognize? We start off with they're back in the owl cave.
Yes, and
Cooper and the police force.
This proves my theory from last week. There were no spelunking. They walked in. Only Andy spelunked.
Oh, come on.
They all walked in, and Andy's the only one.
You just didn't realize that they had to go around a corner. But around that corner was their ropes.
Yeah.
It does look like they just walked in.
They just walked in. Andy's the only one with rope, just in case. Yeah. But I like how there's writings on the wall, which Windom Earle has unleashed. I guess he has unlocked.
Right. It ended. That last episode ended with him turning that pole thing.
Yeah.
And once he turned it, everything shook. And now we see that there's a drawing here. It's funny in the script, behind the scenes. For whatever reason, in the script, it appears that Earle tampered with it. Like, I don't know if he was trying to throw them off and he started adding stuff to the.
Really?
I mean, I think that would complicate things more. But I guess he just kind of messed around with the drawing. And Cooper's like telling Andy, who has to draw this. Hey, make sure you reference which parts look like Earle had tampered with it. I think that there's no need for that, but it was interesting.
And that doesn't come into play, right?
It doesn't come into play. So there was no reason for that. I'm glad that they didn't do that in the show.
That would have muddled it up.
Yeah. But it's cool that
I think they kind of hit upon that with the whole letter, with the handwriting analysis, with later on with Leo's letter.
Yeah, they know. I mean, they realize that seeing the footprints here that Hawk found, that Earle has been here. So that was good. Yeah. What else do I want to say? Why don't we bring up some audio?
Yeah, this is some good stuff about the lodge.
Called the White Lodge. Gentle fawns gamboled there amidst happy, laughing spirits. The sounds of innocence and joy filled the air. I mean, when it rained sweet nectar that infused one's heart with a desire to live life in truth and beauty. Generally speaking, a ghastly place, reeking of virtue's sour smell. Engorged with the whispered prayers of kneeling mothers, mewling newborns, and fools, young and old, compelled to do good without reason. But I am happy to point out that our story does not end in this wretched place of saccharine excess. For there's another place, its opposite. A place of almost unimaginable power, chock full of dark forces and vicious secrets. No prayers dare enter this frightful maw. Spirits there care not for good deeds or priestly invocations. Theirs like to rip the flesh from your bone as greet you with a happy good day. And if harnessed, these spirits in this hidden land of unmuffled screams and broken hearts would offer up a power so vast that its bearer might reorder the earth itself to his liking. This place I speak of is known as the Black Lodge, and I intend to find it.
Hey, man, the story's cool, but you promised me beer.
And that I recognize that face right away. The metal guy is Ted Raimi.
Yeah, isn't that
Sam
crazy?
Raimi's brother.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and he used to be in a lot of stuff, like just like cameos, but nobody knew who he was. And I'm like,
Xena Warrior Princess. I think he had a regular appearance. I did not watch that show.
I watched Xena.
Okay,
I watched Xena. Sam Raimi produced that along with Hercules.
Yeah.
And Bruce Campbell would be on there. I'm a
That's
huge
right.
Bruce Campbell fan. And I actually met Ted Raimi at a Monster Mania in Maryland years ago. Right before the new Spider-Man came out with Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
And everybody was just kind of poo-pooing it. And I met him and I said to him, it's kind of embarrassing. I was just like, I'm so sad that, Sam's not doing Spider-Man anymore. And what do you think? And I asked him what he thought about the new Spider-Man.
Right.
And he goes, I've seen stuff. I think it's going to be good. And that was my conversation with him. Like, I didn't know what to say. I was kind of, he's not a big star, but I was starstruck.
That's
when I
awesome.
met him.
That's
Because
really cool.
I like him. I like his brother, and I like Bruce Campbell. So I was kind of like, you know them. So, through you, I met them. I was so like, it was so weird meeting him, but he's a nice guy. But yeah,
Awesome.
it was so cool. I recognized right away.
Oh yeah, I mean he's got his voice, his face. You can recognize.
He's got the goofy
he's got
face. Yeah.
So, Windom Earle is talking about the White Lodge, which he kind of makes fun of and is pretty silly, and then he talks about the Black Lodge, and this is the first time we realize that he knows anything about it. Like,
Yeah,
we knew,
how does he know it?
Right, we knew that we found out that he had some interest in the Blue Book. Oh yeah, the Blue Book project.
Yeah.
That Major Briggs was working on. We found out, I think, the last episode that he had some involvement. But this is the first time we all wait a minute. He also knows about these lodges, and he intends to find it, the Black Lodge.
Is the lodge a state of mind? Because I was thinking about Ben Horn. How, granted, last episode I said I think he's up to something, but this episode he does say it's hard. It's so easy to be evil. We'll get to that scene. He said something like that. I can't quite remember the exact quote, but he is all of a sudden good. Like, he wants to do good.
Right.
And I know there might be an intention to it, but overall...
It's those carrots he's eating, I think.
Yeah, it's all the vegetables.
And the milk.
In the milk. But if you notice, his character went from smoking cigars to drinking booze, eating vegetables, drinking milk, and he's trying to save an animal?
Yeah, and,
So-
he had said to Wheeler there about he asked him in the previous episode about how do you be good, and
Yeah.
so he's definitely been going in that direction. It appears.
Yeah, and then you have Windom Earle mention, like, doing good for no reason is the White Lodge, and that makes me think of Ben Horn.
Interesting.
So is a lodge a state of mind?
Right. I mean, I sometimes think
Yeah,
of
I
it,
don't
is it like heaven and hell, and even in heaven and hell, is heaven and hell a real place, or some people say that it's still like a state of mind, and how you treat and how you act.
Yeah, yeah.
But-
and Bob, does he come from what evil men do? Come from the Black Lodge?
Right.
And how would Windom Earle know about the White Lodge? But he's kind of an evil guy.
Right.
But it's almost like, how like the story about, the devil fell from heaven?
Sure.
And would Windom Earle have been in there, and then he has fallen from there to the Black Lodge?
Right. In some way, it is right. I mean, because Windom Earle was a good agent.
Yeah,
he was a
yeah.
mentor to Cooper, and he seemed like a great man. And he's kind of fallen from grace.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes it's all about power. Like, I think that's where he's coming from now. He's
It's all
like,
about ultimate power.
He thinks there's more power in, and I think that's what I don't know. We would say Lucifer or the archangel,
Yep.
Satan there. That would be like he'd be more powerful not to be in heaven to do his own thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like he is the opposite of Cooper, where Cooper strives to be the good.
Yeah.
This guy's striving to be as evil as he can.
Right, and he mocks being good. It's like, why would you want to be in he's saying that, like, the White Lodge, why would you want to be in this place? Why would you want to do good things when you could be evil. And powerful?
Yeah. So it's kind of cool. Yeah, so there's a lot of layers there.
Totally. And so, I can mention here, I don't think I've mentioned before about how Windom Earle, the actor, Kenneth Walsh, actually knew Bob Angles, who is one of the producers on the second season. And it was Bob Angles approached Kenneth Walsh and said, hey, I have the perfect part for you. And it was this Windom Earle character. So it was kind of made in some ways for him.
No, he drew the sketch from the cave on a computer, and I'm guessing that has to be an old Apple where you just drew on it.
It does look like an Apple computer.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's a photo or it can't be a photo, but yeah, he must have drawn
or an Etch-a-Sketch or something. Why did he do it on a computer and not a piece of paper? But he does. We figured out he does have access to costumes in the internet of some sort. Yeah.
And so the anecdote about Bob Angles approaching Kenneth Walsh for this part comes from Brad Duke's Reflections book, and he also the actor mentions that he had a part in the disguises. Like he would suggest things. Like it's like I'd like to appear as a fat biker. So like when he's in the Double R diner and hanging out with Cooper. So I think the actor had some input on the show. Like he would be able to say, hey, here's the disguises. I also think he in real life he knew how to play a flute, and I don't know if that was in the script or if he kind of said, hey, I can do this.
I want to incorporate my flute playing.
Yeah. So yeah, and then we go right to the chessboard, and it kind of says, okay, it looks like Windom Earle's winning here. He's a few steps ahead of Cooper.
Yeah.
And then what am I say? Martell here. Pete Martell is working on a poem for Josie and stuff. Which
and it's funny because it's a poem for Josie, but it's almost like his brain's fried because he can't rhyme words anymore, and he has to go through every word to rhyme. With Bloom, he like walk through the room and stand up straight. So it's kind of humorous, and then Catherine walks in with a box, which.
This is from Eckerd. Remember that was the something that was given.
Yeah, what's in the box?
What's in the box?
And he's just like, I don't know how to open it. This is like a puzzle box. It's gonna take years to figure out. And her character now is just obsessed with what is in this box. And
now, if your enemy was giving you a gift, would you really want it? I mean, like they're not friends. They're not like happy birthday. It's like these people were rivals. They were enemies, and unless they mending the fences. Like, okay, we're done with Josie. We're gonna make peace, and here's my peace offering from. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think of this box?
Well, it could be secrets. It could be anything because that woman, I don't know if she's dead.
Yeah, Jones. We didn't see her, but she went to jail, and I think Harry she was gonna be processed.
So she's the one that gave him the box,
right?
So I mean, now she's just like curious. Could this open up something? Could it something valuable?
And I told you in one of the scripts, it wasn't actually on the air that Eckerd told Jones to finish your job type of thing. So I think her mission was two things: to give the box and to kill Harry.
Yeah. And you're right. Why would you want to know what's in the box? But you know what? I would have just I took a hammer to it, cracked it open. What would it matter if you broke whatever's in it?
Now Bobby and Shelley at the Double R, and he's scheming some more.
Yeah, convincing her that beautiful people don't have to pay for anything.
Yep, and that if you're a blonde, you never go to the electric chair.
Yes, you never go to the chair. I love his logic. It's the logic of some people out today. His logic is so crazy, but it's Bobby, and he's scheming and get Shelley to get this so they get the money. Right. But it's like a grant it's like a scholarship, not a grant. It's a scholarship.
Well, I mean,
so how would they do it with the money?
None of the other schemes ever turned out right. I mean, he thought he was going to get the insurance money for Leo.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't. Maybe he should just stick to hanging out around Ben Horn there,
and doing his clothes. But she's trying to convince her, and she finally like she finally caves in. She finally is going to do it.
Right. Because everybody's been telling her how pretty she is. Right? The biker, Windom Earle there, was easy. I think you're pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
but she's getting fed up with him.
Yeah. And then we get more of the mayor and
his fiance there.
Yeah, I forget her name.
I want to say Lena.
Yeah, and we haven't seen these two characters in a while, especially the mayor.
It's good, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You don't. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to see her kissing and yeah. But she's scheming. I mean, this is. I feel like this is the first time we really see that she's a schemer. I mean, before you thought she flirted and she just had some aura around her that all men fell for her. But this is something where she's clearly doing something dishonest, and she wants to win the Miss Twin Peaks contest.
And and
you want to bring up some audio just for the heck of it?
He's the judge.
Yeah.
Of course. Well, I've been known to make a speech or two in my time. I'll coach you day and night.
Oh, no, sweetheart. Baby, that's not what I'm talking about. Now, you're one of the judges. You can guarantee it.
But it would be wrong.
Well, darling. Darling, it would be love.
It would be love. She's scheming too, and
right.
Yeah,
and he doesn't. I mean, he says it's wrong, but it doesn't seem like he's not gonna. I mean, it seems like he might still do this.
Yeah, of course he will. And it seems like every female character will be joining in on the Twin Peaks Miss.
Yeah, this is a big town event.
Yes, huge town event.
Now Cooper walks in the Double R and gonna get breakfast.
Yes,
and,
I love the scene. It was so sweet. It's an adorable scene.
It is sweet.
It is. He wants a lot of stuff.
He's taking care of the whole. Yeah, he doesn't even work for the police station anymore, and he's kind of helping out and getting all the food for the police officers.
Yeah, and they make their little date.
Yep, Annie's like, oh, sure, I'd love to go on a nature walk, was it? Or what was it? It was some kind of a...
Yeah, they're going to go on a boat.
On
a boat out in the lake. But yeah, I like he's got weird feelings in his toes and his stomach. He just says the weirdest things.
Yes,
and
he's in love.
But they're both like... See, this...
They're both quirky, right?
Yeah, I think this relationship works more than him and Audrey.
No! Blasphemy! How dare you?
Yeah, I don't
know.
No
way! Are you kidding?
Yes!
No!
I don't know. Audrey and Wheeler, man, they go well together.
No, they don't. I have heard that the actors didn't really care for each other, Wheeler and Audrey's characters.
Billy Zane?
Yeah, I mean, I think they both had... they want to do things their way, and they couldn't always agree on that stuff. So, but they do a good job. They do a good job on the show, and they do seem like they have some chemistry on the show. But I still would rather see Cooper and Audrey. Yeah.
I think in season 3 we could,
yes,
and it would work.
Okay,
for me, it doesn't work in this setting.
So Shelley happens to mention the poem
out loud,
and Cooper hears it, and then he finds out, like, wait a minute, what's going on? I know that poem, and he asks Shelley for the piece that she got, and he's now in policeman mode there, FBI mode, and he forgets about Annie for a second there.
I know, and he's got to put the pieces together. And now I have a question about the show. Audrey is in Seattle. Now, does Audrey and Cooper share any screen time? The last time they were actually shared screen time is when he rescued her. Mm-hmm. And do they ever again share screen time?
I mean, if you remember, they also did. We have Denise Bryson.
Oh, you're right. That was the last time.
I think that might have been
when Denise walks in and
introduces a kiss or something.
Yeah, and then that was the last
if there's
time.
Any other.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think.
I mean, we might see them together. I don't know. We're not going to see much more of them. I don't
know.
What
about Audrey? I mean, is she going to come back to the show? Is she gone to Seattle?
You're going to have to wait and see.
Oh, because it's so convenient.
We wrote her off. No. Yeah, I think we'll probably see
She'll
her
be
again.
back. All right. I hope she wasn't not wrote off the show, but like she was doing something else. So they said, okay.
I don't know why she's not in this one episode, but I think she will be back.
All right.
So you want to bring up some audio here?
Oh yeah.
I hope it's nothing more than a taunt, Harry.
Oh, I missed it.
Earle takes perverse pride in his ability to insinuate himself into.
So what Cooper was saying was that he actually sent that poem to Carolyn. Carolyn being Windom Earle's wife, and he loved her. His crush there. So it's interesting. So clearly, Windom Earle is directing this at Cooper, saying, "Hey, this is your poem, and I'm going to use this against you." So and Hawk comes in and brings all the pieces of the poem.
And he notices the penmanship.
Yes,
Right
Leo
away.
Johnson's arrest report. Bring it.
But when he puts them together, to me, they look nothing alike. But
This squiggly line and this.
yeah, they look kind of different to me. But Cooper, it's old school Cooper. 'Cause remember in the beginning of the show, he would get things right away.
Right.
He's
Intuition,
back to that.
yeah.
Yeah. His feelings
Right.
are more.
Why don't we?
being
Well, maybe we can bring up some more audio. We got Major Briggs here.
Major, we need your help. But I am unable to accurately describe for you how or why.
Go on.
The Twin Peaks Sheriff's Department is currently involved in several disparate investigations. The disappearance of known felon Leo Johnson, the appearance of my former partner and suspected murderer Windom Earle, and the discovery of petroglyphs of an unknown origin in a place called Owl Cave. Now, it would seem logic would dictate that these investigations be considered separate entities. However, I believe otherwise. I believe that these mysteries are not separate entities, but are in fact complementary verses of the same song. Now, I cannot hear it yet, but I can feel it. And that is enough for me to proceed.
How exactly may I help?
I need to know everything that there is to know about Windom Earle's work with Project Blue Book.
And the Blue Book.
The Blue Book. So, I mean, it goes on that Major Briggs is like, is this going to help your investigation? Will it save lives? And
Yeah.
it will. And that's, I think he's willing to help and stuff. So this is, we're hopefully going to get some more information on the backstory of Windom Earle and what he knows. Even
In
though
the
they're,
Blue Book, yeah.
even though they're a few steps behind Windom Earle right now. And I don't think it comes up, but the bonsai. Oh no, I guess we're in a different room. We're in the conference room. I was going to say that bonsai tree there. Windom Earle could still be listening on everything he's doing.
Yeah, the bonsai tree, I think, is in one of their offices.
Yeah, maybe it's in Harry's office.
Harry's office.
So yeah, this is interesting. I mean, I think we're leading to some more backstory on Windom Earle, but.
Oh,
What do you make of this? What do you make of two things do you make of? First, what do you make of this drawing on the cave? Like, what is that? What is all that about?
I don't know, a map or symbols that mean something in the town.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know. Let me see if I can, like, we can decipher, like, something on it. Like, we have a picture of a tall person and a short person.
Yeah.
Could that be the giant? And could that be the
man from another place?
Yeah,
maybe?
I mean,
it's possible.
I don't know.
Right. It's funny how they look. It almost look like aliens or something. They have like these lines, but
and they have books or like it looks like shutters or something in them. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or robes. They could be
Robes or something,
robes
right.
on them. And then you have like either hilltops with circles on them or people, but they have lines coming from them. So it's really hard to make out what that means. You have a mountain with a circle, a portal, a dimension portal, a couple. Now, those two mountains represent in the Twin Peaks. There's two mountains with portals.
Yeah.
Then you have the fire.
Right.
Now, last time we hear about is Fire Walk with Me,
right,
with a circle with the symbol.
Yeah, the owl symbol.
The owl symbol in it. And then, you have lines, your typical, like maybe Native American kind of symbols, or just lines and stuff. And here's Twin Peaks right here too. There's two.
Oh yeah, I mean I bet there's mountains all over, but yeah.
So it's just like I don't know. What do you think, Ben? What am I missing?
No, I mean I just wanted to hear what you had to say about it.
Do they explain any of this?
Yeah, they'll get to it. They'll explain more about it. But I was just curious, just from viewing it from the first time, what you thought of this.
I was almost thinking if this was transparent and you put it over the map of Twin Peaks, would it match?
That'd be kind of cool. I don't know.
Somehow.
Right.
But yeah, and then it shows this cloak figure transparently walking into the fire.
Yeah.
The whole Firewalk. Because Firewalk with Me, we've heard in the beginning of the show, but we never really, they haven't brought it up since.
No, they really haven't. Only a few times do we hear them. I think, Mike Gerard, the man with one arm there, has brought it up a couple times. And then and so this cloak thing comes up from Major Briggs where he says, I've dreamt it or seen it somewhere. So Major Briggs has had a dream about this image of the from the owl cave.
Yeah,
which is fascinating. I mean, we always have. We should really think of. We should pay strict attention to dreams because dreams in Twin Peaks seem to have a meaning. I mean, Sarah Palmer's had dreams. Cooper's had dreams. There's definitely a bunch of people who have had dreams. Even Major Briggs has had dreams about his son's future. I mean, I feel like they're important enough that we should pay some strict attention. And then I'm trying to figure out. Is his dream, like, so when we see this cloak figure, is that Major Briggs' dream or is that something just for the viewer? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's always hard to tell when somebody says something and we see it. Are we to take it as that is Major Briggs' dream? Or is that just for the viewers?
I think this is for the viewer's interpretation of what he's seen.
Yeah.
I don't think he's seeing it right there. I think it's telling us what he's seen. It kind of walks in very Hitchcockian, you know? And
Good evening.
It could be Homer Simpson as a stonecutter from The Simpsons.
And then it goes into an owl in space
and fire.
Right.
Just the symbol, fire, and the owl symbol, right?
Yeah, right. So they show an actual physical owl, and they show fire, and then it dissolves into the fire drawing and owl.
So it's like they're telling us this is what it means, the fire and the owl, you know?
Yeah. So I
don't know.
I don't know if we ever really get a clear explanation of this hooded figure. And so this is one of those things I try to figure out. There was kind of a hooded figure when Major Briggs disappeared, I feel like. You know, there was that light, the white light, and I think there was a hooded figure or a big figure that was in the distance, I think.
Maybe this figure is the one that takes him.
Maybe, yeah. So I don't know if, to be honest with you, we're going to get through the rest of this season, and I don't think we're going to say, hey, I know what that figure was. And it'd be cool if they revisit this when the new series comes back, but it's not clear. And I think it'd be fun maybe after the series we can talk more about it and say, okay, they brought this up, Could this be where they were going with it?
Yeah, it's just an interesting visual, too.
Yeah. And Hawk comes in with Leo's arrest report.
And Cooper gets it right away, looks at it and goes, it's Leo.
That's Leo.
New shoes.
New shoes. That's awesome.
But he does look at it real quick, and I'm like, really? But he wrote in cursive, and then he writes like a fifth grader. And then he's like, yeah, it's Leo.
That's his. He's that good.
He's that good.
Yeah.
How the heck?
The poem sent by Windom Earle was transcribed by Leo Johnson.
Dun, dun, dun. So
I think there was some deleted script too about like connecting them a little better, but I don't think it was necessary. We all know as the viewer that Leo's already working for Windom Earle, or he's captured.
So this is the scene where Ben Horne talks about being good after Dick is asking about
will you cover my medical bills
and then will you cover my stay, and then he's like and Dick's just like, wow, talk to my lawyer, like
Ben or oh no I know what you're saying, right?
Richard Truman, yes, right. Men's fashion.
So I think he says he's talking about his nose, but he says like, I'll talk to my lawyer, and Ben mocks him a little bit.
I mean, he knew that he's kind of. I think he feels Dick is taking advantage of him.
Oh yeah,
and the old Ben would have just like stomped him. He would have been like, my lawyers will.
So workers' compensation. Here, bring it up.
Easily done. Capital, Mr. Horne.
I'll alert my attorney.
I will alert my attorney. Sometimes the urge to do bad is nearly overpowering.
So it's like he's taken over this new leaf after coming out of that weird midlife crisis he had a couple episodes ago.
Civil War.
Yeah. So it's interesting how it's a kind of a theme, a running theme.
Right.
And you know what? I didn't realize this, but that theme comes up again in this next scene. You have Windom Earle, you have Ted Raimi inside a paper mache. They're making a paper mache pawn.
Yes,
figure.
chess piece there. Yeah,
chess piece. And Windom Earle, you know, he sits down and he has like a crossbow and he's telling Leo, go get my arrow. And Leo has a moment of compassion where he's overpowered even by his fear. Like, I'm not going to kill someone. Like,
Right.
I'm not going to give you this.
And
he
this is the
shocks
same
him.
person who does kill Waldo, and he is. I mean, Leo is not, a great person. At least he wasn't in the past.
Yeah,
but
but
at the same time, he
yeah.
thinks this is just wrong.
This
This
is
is
wrong.
an innocent person, and
Yeah, and it's another like this overpowering evil to do good.
Yeah.
And I also feel like Leo realizes that this could be my wife. Because he still
Right.
saw that picture of Shelley.
Oh, yeah, right.
And that really made him think, I think. And he's like, what is going on here? And at this point, I'm like, yeah, Leo's coming back to his senses. And then he shocks him.
he
and
shot
like,
his
"Ah."
neck collar there. Yeah, he shot.
What
yeah.
is-
But what I love is that. So his name is Rusty. Is the guy? He's kind of like, hey, you're basically spilling my beer. 'Cause
yeah.
Leo's got the beer, and he's like, fetch my arrow.
No, this is the other thing. It's a shot collar, not like mind. It doesn't. It doesn't like brainwash him,
Right.
But I know the fear of being shocked again.
Yes.
And I was like, is he really gonna kill him? Like, I didn't expect him to kill him. But
Oh yeah,
he does.
He does.
But he shoots him at a weird place, and it just shows Ted Raimi there with blood coming out of his mouth, making his goofy dead face.
Yes.
I love it.
Maybe we should bring up some audio again, or I
Yeah.
think he's about to do a monologue that's pretty cool.
You still
But what the hell are you doing?
think of all the hapless sinners wondering where their soul's destination lies. For what? To gain the answer to a simple question. Where will my spirit awake? What life am I given after this life? This grave question has plagued man's sorry conscience for eons. And now, you lucky boy, you have the answer. Now.
And he like shot him in the abdomen or just like his stomach or somewhere. And he
Right.
was just like, dead. Goofy face.
And I think they did shoot it through. They actually did shoot it through there, and it was protected enough. But I don't know if he was actually. He wouldn't need to be in it. The way that it was shot, he doesn't even need to be in there. But
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
hearing that they did actually shoot it, and it because of with all the paper machete. Yeah,
Yeah.
It wouldn't go through all the way. So I want to say something. This is the guys who did Wrapped in Plastic. They also did another magazine. Called Spectrum, and in Spectrum issue 12, they interviewed Ted Raimi,
Oh, nice.
and this is what he has to say. I don't know how accurate this is, but it's interesting just because this is what Ted had heard. He heard about the third season. Like I said, I don't know if we believe this, but in the third season, he says his character basically would come back again. After he was killed off, Windom Earle was going to reincarnate Rusty and bring him back to. He says as a college student, and he'd be like his. He would do his bidding and stuff, like some kind of like zombie or something. It sounds way too over the top, even for Twin Peaks. But he was saying that somehow Windom Earle would have brought him back, and he would have. I don't see it accurate.
happen.
But that's what he had to say in Spectrum 12, issue 12.
He could have just been like speculation or because he could have just been saying what he thought. Because I don't see how the writers, like, we talked to Harley.
Right, Harley Payton.
And
man.
Harley said that they pitched a season 3.
Right.
But
it was really loose. And even Mark Frost, I saw the writing on the wall that he didn't think it was going to happen. So they
Yeah.
didn't spend that much time on it.
So he could have been just playing with them.
Maybe he's just playing with
Or
the
what he would have saw his character do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he heard. So
I like that. That's pretty funny.
it's like zombie Rusty there.
Yeah. I like how they're having this. Well, I realize this is a little meeting for the pageant.
Yes.
It's being in the bar.
Right, at the Roadhouse there.
At first, I was like, are they having their town meeting at the Roadhouse in the
Right.
bar? But then I'm like, oh, they're interviewing all the contestants.
Hmm.
And Ben Horn's saying this year's going to be different. It shouldn't just be about pretty women and bouncing bodies. It should be about, this should have Twin Peaks pride,
Right.
and give us support about.
And I think this is the 20th anniversary too. So
Yeah.
this is an important year for them. That,
Yeah.
You know, it's not like your average year. It's the 20th anniversary.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and
So he's trying to push the whole save Ghostwood estate, the Pine Weasel, let's save that. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like a whole event. It's like the Big E for them.
Yes,
Yeah.
at least, yeah, it's a big thing. I'm trying to think. I mean, the town, yeah, like there's special town events. This is
Yeah.
probably their big one. And
I mean, you've already had the fashion show. They're gonna have a wine tasting.
Right.
They're having all these events around it.
I don't think this ruins this to share, but you know, we know that every day. I mean, I probably should look this up again when we get to the last episode. But I believe, I won't even say it. I'm just realizing I'm spoiling things. Never
Well, you
mind.
told me it takes place
Right.
like every
I think
day.
okay. I don't think it's a big spoiler, but because I've already said, I think the pageant takes place on Easter.
Really?
Which is an accident. I don't know if it's an accident or not, but it's like I think if you did the math, in 1989 is when it takes place,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't remember if it's March 29th. I don't know, but if you look at the right dates, supposedly it's the same day as Easter. I'll
weird.
double check on the last episode
Yeah,
that we
you
did this,
should.
but. You know, Twin Peaks is crazy. Maybe they actually do have it on Easter, but
Yeah, who knows, right?
but yeah, so I mean, so Ben is pitching this, and when he does leave, I think they think that's a pretty good idea. The funny thing is,
Yeah.
it's only a few days before the pageant. It's like they're really waiting to the last minute to put this thing together.
Does a pageant happen on the last episode? Or
Maybe.
second to the last episode? You
All
can
right,
tell 'em.
yeah, I mean, it happens around the last episode, so I guess
So it's like 3 episodes away.
You're right. So it might be the second to last.
So like
episode.
3 or 4 days away, and they're already trying to get.
That's what I'm saying. It's like maybe 2 days before the pageant, and they're like, "I think we should make this theme," and we should interview people. It's like, why didn't you do that a week ago? But I mean, at the
Yeah.
same time, this is TV. It would have had to happen in the first season just to get to what I mean?
Exactly.
Because if you were,
Yeah.
And then Ben runs into Bobby and Shelley
Pick up
and
my
Donna.
clothes. Donna's crying.
Donna does not like Ben Horn. She's still wondering what's up with her and her mom.
Yeah, we don't find out this episode. I
No,
mean, we don't
we don't-
have to go into it, but we don't find out. She does question her parents at dinner time, and her dad is covering it up. I can tell.
Some
it's-
fundraising and stuff.
yeah. Oh, some fundraisers with flowers and roses and.
And back at the Roadhouse, there, the mayor is getting his fiance Lena there to come and get interviewed.
Collusion.
And they're kissing and things. It's like, this is gonna be a fair.
Yeah, there are, and then Shelley, Bobby's no help. I'll write your speech. Like, how does that help her in any
Right.
way? Like, he thinks.
I think she can write her own speech.
Yeah. Now, this is a very funny moment. Mike and Nadine.
Yep.
Nadine show up,
Yes.
and Bobby,
Mike in his suit.
Yeah, Bobby's just like, "What, Mike? What are you doing with an older
And they kind
woman?"
of say how they haven't hung out in a while, and he's like really confused. And Mike's like, it's not what you think.
And he goes, "Tell me what you don't think. What do you mean? I don't know what you think." And they go back and forth, and he's just like, "Older woman with super strength." And then he whispers something in his ear, and then Bobby like freaks out.
Right.
I don't even want to guess.
Some
what he said.
innuendos, yeah, some kind of a-
more
yeah.
innuendos. And Bobby's just like, you could tell he's jealous.
It's so funny. It's nice to see them together. It's been a long time since they've kind of hung
I
out. with
almost
each
feel like the last time we saw them was when they were in jail.
Right, I know.
Together, right?
It's been a long time. It's too bad because I mean I think they're good characters to have together, and I kind of miss the old bad boys that they were troublemakers, and
Yeah.
now they're all grown up, trying to work and fool around with older women. And
The running theme of this show sometimes is younger people with older people.
I guess so, especially
Both sides.
both sides, right?
Yeah.
The mayor and Cooper
Bob-
and Audrey, maybe.
Well, even Annie's kind of young.
Yeah, she really is young. I mean, I feel like,
Early 20s, maybe.
yeah,
And maybe
right.
Cooper's late 20s.
I think I've shared with you before. I think the actress was younger than Sherilyn Fenn there.
Wow.
So I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of funny. And we already went to that scene, but it was still interesting to have Windom Earle talk about. You're so lucky, Rusty, because you get to find out what happens after death, and it's an interesting
Oh, yeah,
monologue.
that one
about-
little thing.
One
yeah.
little thing, like the unknown. I mean, maybe that's the greatest mystery of life, is to figure out what happens to our soul once we die.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. But
Yeah, you could tell he's like experimenting with people, like
yes,
torturing them, and He's
but he's got some plan. He's got
something. We don't know what, but something.
But now we know in this episode that he's he's interested in the Black Lodge. Like in some ways, he's interesting. And you kind of wonder: is this witchcraft? Or is this not witchcraft? But is this some kind of Satan
supernatural
thing or something? Right?
Yeah.
And that's
And he does kill someone. So is this power going to his head so he can go to the Black Lodge?
Yeah,
is
I don't know.
His ultimate goal?
Right. So now Catherine, Sheriff Truman has come to see Catherine, and they're talking about Josie. And I love how he's like, she was so pretty. It's like, get over being pretty. Like, did you like her as a human being? And did you like Josie at all? I mean, it's always been like, oh, I miss taking advantage of her.
I know. I missed her. I missed having someone to connoidle with.
Oh.
I mean, you're right. His hands were all over her.
All the time. She'd be in, like, suffering and in need, and he's like, oh, yeah, let's go make out.
Yeah, you're right.
But then Catherine brings out the box, and it's interesting that she would share this with Truman, that, like, okay, I can't figure out how to open this box.
Yeah.
It's something that she usually keeps her secrets to herself, but she decided to share this with Harry.
And then...
Pete Martell comes in.
Pete walks in and he picks it up and he drops it.
Yep. Klutz.
As Pete would.
Yes.
And it opens.
Right.
And is what is in there, I'm looking at it, it looks like a sundial or a clock or sundial.
Yeah, I think it's a zodiac sign.
A zodiac sign. And then I'm wondering, would it match the drawings on the wall?
Huh. Yeah, I've thought of that too. It's interesting to see that, there's these... other symbols. I mean, here's something else that has symbols just like this drawing does.
Yeah. And it's like another box, and he drops that one, and he's trying to reproduce his dropping.
Right. And that doesn't work.
That doesn't work. Well, I was holding it just like this. But he's the one that got it open. She shouldn't be so mad at him.
I know.
I feel sometimes they're only together because it's like they know that she does what she wants, and he just is happy to be with her.
Right.
With her
as long as like, they've been together this long, I guess we just stay together. And
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And I think even the first season, they don't. I don't think they're in the same room. They both have their own beds, and they all do their own thing.
It's like a business arrangement or something.
Yeah. So now we're on the lake with Cooper and Annie.
Yeah, this has become the Notebook. It's like it's like
she used to swim here, and when she was a kid.
Yep, and we get to see Cooper have his first kiss with Annie.
Yep,
it's so adorable. It's
and she's saying she didn't have many friends, and that it was Norma who was the popular one. And,
yeah.
So I mean, again, I think it's reinforcing that she's an outsider, and Cooper is an outsider, and
Yeah, and he's like, I can understand her boyfriend from high school might have caused her cutting on her wrists. And he said, I can understand that.
Yeah, do you want to bring up some audio?
Yeah.
Right.
Have anything to do with why you went into the convent?
I'm sorry, do you mind if we don't talk about it?
I don't know. We can talk about whatever you'd like.
I want to come back to the world. I was so frightened for so long.
I understand.
Hiding from your fear doesn't make your fear go away.
It makes it stronger.
So I had to face it. I had to face myself. And I had to do it here, where everything went so wrong.
Now you're looking at the hands.
Oh, yeah.
Annie, I know how hopeless things can seem. I know about the dark tunnel you can fall into.
It happened before I went away. It happened because of that boy.
Something similar happened to me. It made me want to disappear from the world. Because of that, maybe I can help you.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then, right after that, leans in for the kiss.
Nice. I think that's the only reference we really get from Annie about her circumstance of what she was going through. There is I think I could share a little bit more about the script.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I'll just for the heck of it, just give you a little more sense of from the script. It goes, I want to come back to the world. I was so frightened for so long, which is in the show, and then of everything, of life. I thought I'd be safe there. Everybody here thought I was nuts, and when I think about it, it was such a weird 19th century thing to do. I think I could remove myself as if that could stop the noise in my head. When the problem was me, it was always in me. And Cooper says he understands, and she goes on. Yeah, I mean, but I think it's interesting to see that she was kind of afraid, and it was really, she could run away to a convent, and it didn't solve her problems. And
yeah,
stuff.
and she says that.
She kind of says that, really.
Yeah.
So you really didn't need all this other dialogue, but there was a little bit more. And she goes on to say, I realized that I was just hiding and running away from my fear. Fear didn't make make fear go away. And, and there is this theme of fear, and Cooper and Major Briggs talked about fear when they were camping, and there's it comes up every once in a while, the whole idea of
you can't run away from it. You have to take it on, or it won't go away. It'll just come back. Yeah, she pretty much says that in a quicker fashion.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, I kind of like in a way that we don't really know. Did the boy commit suicide? Did the boy hurt her? Or we don't know what the problem is. We just know that it messed her up.
Does it come out at all? Or
no, I think this is it. I think this is all we get from her about her backstory.
I think that's all you need. It's a good mystery, right? I think the best shows on TV don't have to explain everything.
Yeah.
You leave it up to the viewer.
Right.
When you over-explain something.
And sometimes by not explaining it all the time, you can maybe even interpret it that maybe what your own life is. And I can see about my own life and say, hey, I can relate this way because I don't know what she's going through. And now Windom Earle is in disguise, and he's spying
as a fisherman. And he went to his Costumes R Us.
Right. And it should be clear that Cooper and Annie are now outside the boat, and they're at a gazebo and stuff.
Holding hands.
The gazebo will come up again at the end of the episode. So.
Oh yeah.
But I think that's really important that they're at the gazebo.
Windom Earle kind of looks like a Looney Tune character, and he smiles at the camera crookedly.
Yes.
Yeah. The wine. I love this scene. The wine tasting scene.
We've got Dick. We've got Lucy. We've got we've got the whole bunch there.
Andy,
right.
And a bunch of people that are going to be embarrassed.
Well, Lena there is giving out cups and getting the wine.
You can tell Dick likes her.
Yeah,
there's something going to happen between Dick.
I think everybody likes her, right? She's got this, or she's got something about her that.
But it's perfect for Dick.
Yeah,
I mean, those two together would be perfect for each other because they're both kind of sleazy in a way.
Yeah,
And they use their looks to get away with things.
Right.
But Dick's his nose is broken, so he looks kind of weird. But it's very humorous, and how Lucy would be like, I taste bananas. And he's like...
No. What is she... Lucy says something like...
someone else says bananas.
Right, that's what Lena's going to say. What does she say? She says something like... it'll come up, but I'm trying to remember what she says.
And then Lucy's like, well, instead of drinking wine, why don't we just have a banana split?
Right. Oh, man.
This is a cool scene. I love how Andy, he's irritating Dick.
Yeah, so let's talk about sparkling wine and white wine. It's like, and, Dick's like, this has nothing to do with this red wine tasting that we...
Yeah.
I also love that he starts swallowing it. Like, spit it out. Don't drink the wine.
Yeah. It's so silly, but it's a lot of fun.
Right.
It's such a different tone from the corniness. It is silly and fun.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not... it's
not corny.
It's not Little Nicky bad.
Yeah. This is more enjoyable. I don't know what the difference is, but it's better.
Maybe it's just focused on these characters. And
and it's not short spurts of weirdness. It's just character development included. But yeah, I feel like Lana, Lucy's kind of jealous of Lana because everybody gives her attention.
Right. And I think Lucy still hasn't decided who the father is of her child she's going to pick.
Really? We haven't figured that out. No. I thought it was Andy, honestly.
No, we haven't figured that out yet. It could be Dick. It could be Andy. I know. You've been dying to find out who the father is. So maybe
I really haven't, but I thought it was Andy. I really don't care who the father is.
And I like how there's because of the bandage on Dick that there's the
wine
splattered all over his nose. But
yeah.
Well, I don't think
taste buds. Yeah, we don't need to go into it. But it's a funny scene.
And don't swallow. Yep. So I guess we should go see.
Oh, we're gonna go into
getting some good stuff here.
To Coulson.
Gordon Cole.
Gordon Cole.
Yep.
And
bring up some audio. We got to hear Gordon Cole.
Leaving the dead girl behind, and I said, "You take one more step, and I will ventilate you."
And then what happened?
It was a brief but touching funeral.
It's a brief but touching funeral.
Gordon Cole, and then Cooper and Annie come in. It's almost like the couples are all together here.
Yeah, and like it's so funny because to see David Lynch like head over heels for Shelley, it's just weird because you know who he is.
He's the director. He's the creator of the show.
I know, and it's so funny, and I love how the fact that he's like, I have to kiss you.
Mm-hmm.
And Bobby walks in, and I like how he just tells Bobby, "You're gonna see it again."
Yeah.
And I
awesome.
died. I that was cool, and it's so funny because it's almost like the biggest rivalry on network TV: David Lynch versus Bobby Briggs.
Bobby Briggs doesn't have a chance against
No, he doesn't have a chance. What is he going to do?
You want to bring us some audio again? Or?
From heaven.
I'm a waitress in a diner. I've never been compared to a goddess before.
Well, Shelley, you just don't know your own value. Coop, she's a rare and precious individual, don't you think?
I know what you mean, Gordon.
Shelley, turn around and face me a moment before I lose my nerve. I'm about ready to leave Twin Peaks, and I don't know when I'm going to return. But I want you to know that meeting you has been more than a privilege. It's touched my heart. And I know that if I don't kiss you now, I'm going to regret it the rest of my days.
It's so weird.
What the hell's going on?
You are witnessing a front three-quarter view of two adults sharing a tender moment. Acts like he's never seen a kiss before.
Gordon?
Take another look, Sonny. It's going to happen again.
That's pretty, yeah.
All right, class.
I love that. It was so good. Take a look, Sonny. It's going to happen again.
So in Wrapped in Plastic issue number 17, Harley Payton mentions that David Lynch asked him to write a scene where he got to kiss Machen Amick, Shelley.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if that's true, but it's interesting to see, like, she's a pretty one. Why doesn't Gordon Cole come in there and kiss her? I mean, it's a great scene. It's really fun. I think there was some script where Bobby was going to say, "What are you kissing that old man for?" Or something silly like that. And stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a great scene and it's funny. And it makes sense in the sense that Shelley's fed up with Bobby, and she's saying, "Hey, let's maybe making him jealous would be."
I think so.
Would wake him up. So, but
and I think, this is an awesome scene though. And do we not see Cole after that?
That's it. That's it for
until he comes back to direct the final episode.
Right. Well, and he's not. He's not. The character's not back. And stuff.
Yeah.
So I think we're pretty much done with Gordon Cole.
Aww.
Maybe you'll see him some other place or something. Not
in season
the TV
3.
Show. Yeah, season 3.
Or
right?
Firewalk with Me.
Maybe Firewalk with Me.
He will be in Firewalk with Me.
So we're back to the wine testing. It's tasting. I think we've done enough.
Yeah, we gave you everybody. We talked about everything.
And then there's a scene with Wheeler and Cooper. They're like hanging out. It's nighttime, and they're just sitting around at the Great Northern.
And they've never met.
And it's like I remember even watching this originally when it aired. I was like, "What? Why are they hanging out?" It's like Wheeler's secretly talking about Audrey, and Cooper's kind of talking about Annie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, it's kind of a cool scene, but also it's like, but I really want Audrey and Cooper to be together.
I was thinking, well, Wheeler's new to this town, but I was like, oh, what if Wheeler is Annie's ex-boyfriend?
That would be fun. And that'd be funny. That would be there's a great soap opera twist.
Yeah.
That it's like, I ran away from you to go to the convent.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you that didn't happen.
Okay.
But it was a great. I think you should have written that. I think that would have been something.
Yeah, like
it would have messed up Cooper's relationship. It could mess up Audrey's relationship. It's like he's the one that broke my heart.
Yeah. And
don't trust him, Audrey.
Yeah.
He'll get in a jet and leave you.
Now, what he gets a telegram from somebody, and he's just like, "I gotta leave," and I'm thinking it's Audrey,
Yeah, we'll have to find out.
We won't find out until next episode?
Yep.
All right. I still think Billy Zane's hair is fake. I still have to look it up. I
think it seems real to me.
No, there's something weird. It looks like it's it looks like it's sewed onto his head.
Bryon can't get over his hair.
I want to know more about his hair.
Maybe you should be like one of those people that like have a Twitter handle where it's like
Billy Zane's
hair or Wheeler's hair or something.
Wheeler's hair.
You could every day you could have give an update about his hair or something. Oh,
I was sewn on during this episode. Glued on.
The only one that I ever heard mention anything about his hair.
You know what? It was a Blu-ray. Seeing on a 55-inch TV, high def, you see the glue marks, and you're like, "That's not real hair." I mean, it looks good,
right?
But it doesn't look real.
I think we already talked about the Hayward family.
Yeah, we can skip that. I mean, we did. It's brief. It's Donna trying to get more information.
And now we're at the gazebo, which I was talking about before. That's where Cooper and Annie were, and it looks like there's a box inside the gazebo.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Another box reference.
Yes.
What's in it?
And it's been closed off, and it says "Pull Me," and this is a Windom Earle present.
Yeah, and I like Cooper's thinking. I'll tie the ribbon to a rock, and then shoot the rock, and the rock will pull the ribbon and open it.
The funny thing is that wasn't originally in the script, so I don't know where from the script to the show when that was added. But it is a kind of a cool thing, also because we know in at least the first season, Cooper is really good at marksman. Well, he's good at throwing rocks, and he's a marksman. He's very good at shooting. Because I can't imagine, being 50 feet away and being able to hit that rock. But
he did it. It's Cooper.
And then I was rewatching this, and it's like, is that police, like the police, what do you call it, the ribbon or whatever, is that really strong enough for a rock to actually pull? No, but it's it's TV.
Yeah, it's TV. And he knows it's not a bomb because the SWAT team, they would have called the SWAT team.
Yeah. But maybe there's no SWAT team in Twin Peaks. They maybe had to go to another town.
Yeah, it could be a while, right? I think all in all, this is a Dale Cooper, classic Dale Cooper.
Yeah. This whole episode is right. He's got his intuition about Leo Johnson.
Yeah.
And he seems like he's got his mojo back.
Yeah, Cooper's back in town.
Hey, all it took for him was to wear his suits again. Oh. And there's the pawn. Rusty in the pond.
Rusty Pond.
Rusty Pond. I also always love the effect of it being nighttime and you see these red and blue lights and stuff. It's a great effect in the background.
Yeah, it's visually pleasing. Yeah.
Next time it will be someone you know. No. And the fact that it's at the gazebo where Annie was.
Yeah.
I mean you could lead it to be like, be careful of Annie, or the fact that all these girls are getting poems. They're in jeopardy. So there's a lot of.
And the last time we saw, well, not the last time, but like gazebo was when they had, what's her name pretending to be Laura?
Right, Maddie was playing Laura. Right, that in the first season there, right.
And the gazebo's in the background, and that's how Dr. Jacoby
had a heart attack, but he also got beat up by a masked man. So maybe you shouldn't hang around the gazebo. Maybe that should be a.
Which was that Windom Earle? Was that masked man someone else?
I mean,
did we know?
Yes,
did we figure that out?
We know for a fact it's Leland Palmer, and the reason we know it's Leland Palmer was his scorched engine oil. He smelt it. I mean, in the hospital, he said he smelled scorched engine oil, and we learned that like when Maddie was about to get killed, she could smell scorched engine oil. And I don't know if that's an opening for Bob, or I mean, we can get into that in the future about that. But it to me that scent. It happened at all these places that we're almost positive it would be Leland.
Yeah, and plus Leland did kill Jacques.
Jacques, right? And I think I forgot who it was. You
he had black gloves on,
right?
And I thought he had a mask on.
Like, you always thought he did, but we didn't pan up, and he didn't. But
he didn't. That was my bad.
Maybe there's your imagination that maybe you knew that he was the one that beat up Jacoby there.
But this was a good episode. It was very enjoyable. Overall, this is like the third one in a row where it's so good to have the old Twin Peaks back. Ultimately, there was not a dull moment. It was all entertaining. It all was building to something.
Right.
And I like all the character development now because I feel like you get to take time and show characters, whereas before it was very choppy and disorientating because you you cut between characters you didn't care about.
They seem to have a good blend now of you can have this funny stuff going on, but then you can also feel like you're moving towards this mystery, and it's more Cooper focused and stuff. So yeah, I definitely
more killer, less filler.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know where this is going, but it's still fun to see Windom Earle curious about the lodges and to see his backstory more. And I think we're going to get more of that in the next episode and the future episodes. And yeah, it's good stuff.
Windom Earle. I love that name. I was saying it.
Well, good times. I think we should just end the show.
Yeah. I didn't. Also, I want to bring up, I didn't have any Log Lady stuff today because I watched this episode on Twitter. Not on Twitter. On Netflix.
Show me what I can watch on Twitter.
That'd be awesome. I watched it on Netflix. I didn't have Log Lady stuff.
Yeah.
But next week I will. And so we're on Twitter. That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
Twin Peaks Unwrapped. And
we're on Facebook.
We're on Facebook. And we're getting a lot of feedback on Twitter all the time. People like... someone was asking about should they watch Fire Walk with Me first?
Yeah.
And you were like, no, you should save that. It's going to ruin it for you.
Right. It's funny. It's interesting to see that there are people out there. Some people, it wasn't done on purpose. That they came across Fire Walk with Me. They knew it was a David Lynch film, and they watched it.
Yeah.
And then after watching, they say, "Oh, there's a whole series. Let's watch that." But it's like it ruins the mystery, especially like the season and a half mystery of who killed Laura Palmer. You really, am I saying stuff? I realize I'm saying. Never mind. I'm telling you stuff, and I'm like, you don't.
I haven't watched it, but you're not ruining anything for me. But like,
I guess there's definitely. I mean, there's stuff that there's stuff in the movie, of course, that you wouldn't know until you had seen the series. So So I mean, I don't think that's ruining it because we already know it. You already know who killed Laura Palmer.
Yeah, I already killed him.
Yeah. But I think even that person on Twitter, I think I did find out that person had seen Fire Walk with Me anyway, so it didn't bother them. But they're gonna watch it. They're going to watch the. I think the question originally came up was, do you watch the international version or do you watch the pilot or do you watch the regular pilot? And what I did with you, and I still recommend, you watch the regular pilot. And really, the international version is only the last 15 minutes or so. That's what I did. Different. So it would be watch the regular pilot 1, 2, episode 2, and then you watch the last 15 minutes of the international pilot, and then you get into episode 3 because the international pilot has stuff about that are basically in Cooper's dream, and which you learn in episode 3. Cooper's telling you all this stuff that was in international.
And he says it, and if you don't really see it, you're like, "What is he talking about?"
Right?
Yeah. So
it's cool, and you can always find us on. You can find all our podcasts on TwinPeaksUnwrapped.com.
Yeah.
And we're out every Wednesday. Every Wednesday we have a new show. And
Twin Peaks Paper on Tuesday.
Yeah, Twin Peaks Paper. When I do it, when I get around to actually put it out at paper.
Facebook has gone up. We're getting a lot more feedback on Facebook, and we're on Reddit. I've been posting on Reddit, and people seem to like that. And on top of that, you can email us at twinpeaksunwrapped@gmail.com.
Right, and we always love it if you could rate and review us on iTunes.
Yes, iTunes.
Yeah, thank you, Norway.
Yeah, Norway. We got the Norway flag. We're ready to go. We'll have to visit Norway when we get the award for best podcast in Norway.
That's right. We'll do our tour.
A tour in Norway.
So that's our show. I look forward to next week, Bryon.
Yes. See you next week, Ben.
Yep.
Working with David as Gordon Cole was difficult because he's very committed when he's an actor, and it's hard to keep a straight face.
Cooper, you remind me today of a small Mexican chihuahua.
And his Gordon Cole was surprisingly not nominated as a Best Supporting Actor. I think he was probably always a little upset that didn't happen. I jest. But he just, ultimately David was so enjoyed the world of Twin Peaks that he almost can't help himself. And he just loves to participate, and I think he wanted to become a part of that world in some way. And that was his way of doing it.
Great! Pay dirt!